Welcome and good evening, everybody, to round 8 of the North American Grand Prix GT2 Championship, coming to you live from Sandown in Australia. Brad, welcome to the show, my co-host here on Monday nights.
Al, good to be here as always. So, nice little track we've got here, huh? This little bull ring, got some speed out there though, got some high speed stuff. I'm liking the looks of this.
Yeah, certainly is a fun track here. Let's take a quick look at the track map. We're in qualifying, guys, just heading out on their out laps. So track, pretty short layout. Lap times so far in practice we've seen around 1:07 flat. Was Jonathan Cuppett who led the session, but you can see 13 corners, 2 very long straights, carrying a lot of speed, especially into turn 1. The end of the second straight into turn 6 and 6, 7, 8, and 9. Very entertaining complex, very fast, high curves. Should be an entertaining run here tonight as we're on board with Ian Jolicoeur.
Yeah, and speaking of those curves, yeah, sorry, Alan. Speaking of those curves, you can really use them to your benefit around here. There is a bit of grip over those curves. However, stepping just a little over the line will definitely catch guys out.
Yeah, I did see quite a bit of that here in practice as Ian now going through this 6, 7, 8 complex into turn 9.
Yeah, and speaking of using all those curves, you could just see how violently Ian's car was jostled around those things. But that is the quick line, and so long as you don't take the cut.
Turn 12 and 13 is this final little kink, as Ian should jump to the top of the timesheets. He does. Jonathan Cuppett here currently in 3rd. He was looking quite racy in the practice. Let's see how he does here in qualifying to 4th. So these guys are going to certainly get a lot of laps in here in qualifying. As I mentioned, track is quite short. Aaron Parsons, 2nd in the championship here in GT2, currently residing in 2nd early on here, and carrying a substantial amount of weight.
Yeah, him and main rival Alex White, both of course carrying that weight. And speaking of these guys getting a lot of laps in, they're going to need to, because there will be quite a bit of traffic out there as they motor around this Sandown circuit.
Track temperature is 88 degrees Fahrenheit, ambient is 76 degrees, so ideal conditions here for qualifying.
Yeah, it really is. These are going to be this is the opportunity to lay down your personal best lap for these guys out there in qualifying. Once again here, very important, as these times are going to be very tight, tough place to pass at.
So Parsons exiting turn 12 onto the front straight. Does not improve, remains in 4th. Quick look at the time. David Poole has jumped to the top of the timesheets with the 107.1. Alex White's in 3rd with a 107.2. Both White carrying 80 kilograms of success ballast, and Parsons with 70. So quite a bit of weight. Mike Monahan looking quite racy in practice, I should say. Currently in 7th in the Audi R8.
Yeah, more importantly, I'd say for Mike is that car actually looked very stable too over the curbing. Had the opportunity to watch him around a bit, so that could bode well for Mike Monahan and his chances.
As we continue to follow Mike. like is able to improve to 5th. He does. Cuppet about to complete a lap, and he jumps up to 5th. So Cuppet unable to match his practice pace so far. John Luden filling in for Esteban Palacio, currently in 6th in the other Audi R8, part of Chow Mein Moto.
Yeah, John Luden looking pretty good. I suspect that practice time Jonathan Cuppet put up was a qualifying lap. Now, had he turned that same lap he did in practice, well, he'd be leading currently that provisional pole, but got a little bit of work to do yet.
Cuppet just over a 10th off here in the first sector. Talking before we went live that Cuppet's the Viper of Cuppet should be okay around here. It's very fast down the straights.
Yeah, there aren't too many aero downforce sections that are going to hurt this car, so just basically 1 or 2 maybe kind of fast sweepers there, but the rest of them are rather low speed corners, and that car it has pretty good low speed grip, so, and of course tons and tons of grunt down the straight.
So John Luden jumps up to 2nd that lap, right behind David Poole. Further back, Jolicoeur was looking quite racy as well in qualifying, in practice rather. He's currently in 4th in the Mercedes. Dealing with a back ailment tonight. He's been treated by the medical team, and he has been cleared to race here tonight.
Yeah, good thing they had a substitute ready to go for that car, but turns out it may not be needed after all.
He's just behind here in Sector 2, just over a 10th off. He's really good in this final sector. See if he can make up that gap. Ooh, he does, jumps up to 2nd. Bumps John Luden down to 3rd. Matt Taylor has jumped up to P5.
Sorry, Al. Yeah, of course, Ian Jolicoeur put in our 2nd best practice time, so it figures that he would have pretty good pace in the qualifying session.
I was watching Taylor. He was pounding out laps earlier today, putting quite a number of laps in practice, so he was looking quite quick in that Aston. See how he goes here to the first sector. It's probably the slowest part of the track before it leads on. Ooh, and Taylor's just behind 3/100ths of a second. Yeah, that first sector after the turn 1 there, it's probably the tightest part of the track, and then opens up a bit at the end.
It does, with the exception of just the last couple corners. Now, that's a very important section of this track, actually, for overall lap speed and the time it's going to take you to turn a whole lap. So a couple critical corners there. You got to get those just right.
Taylor is up in Sector 2. Let's see if we can keep it together here in the final sector. Nice exit onto the main straight. I think this is going to do it for him. No. Wow.
Oh. Yeah, those corners are tricky. You got to get those just right. You got to make sure that you're on the throttle early there, coming off that last corner. I don't think Matt Taylor quite hit it.
Cuppet running a bit wide there on the exit. No improvement. Let's take a look further back. Jaime Moore in 8th. Just exiting the pit lane now. A lot of traffic out there in qualifying. Marty Uren finishing 3rd last week at Suzuka, currently in 9th, carrying 30 kilograms of success ballast. So watch Marty here. About to complete a lap. Let's see if he's able to improve. He should here. Maybe not. He's looking pretty good there, but unable to improve on his 9th starting position.
Yeah, Marty, you ran a little bit of a success ballast, but a pretty tiny amount compared to the likes of Alex White up there in front of him.
Jr. about to start a lap, currently in 10th. Here we go, Triana. Onto the front straight. Wow, Main's in 11th, unable to improve, just 5/10 off. 5/10, that's the difference between pole and 11th. Pretty close times here. Watching Jesse Caldani in 12th. Jesse was looking pretty racy in practice as well. As his teammate is up in provisional pole with a 117 flat. Jolicoeur also with us. Wow, 1, 2, 3, 4 guys within 7/100ths of a second of each other. That's got to be one of the closest qualifying times we've seen among the top 5.
You know, those times are going to continue to tighten, at least down through the order of the field as this qualifying continues. The times will continue to get tighter and tighter. Now, somebody may break out of the pack there toward the front and lay down a big screamer, but other than that, time's very close all the way through.
Caldani a bit off here in Sector 1. I'm sorry, Sector 2. It's just 3/10 off, but let's see if he's able to make up any time here in the back. He does, moves up a position. Felipe Triana in 13th. These Audis are looking quite racy around here. Ooh, big moment there for Triana. Getting a little too much curb, and there you saw the repercussions of that. Really upsetting that Audi.
Yeah, well, there's a big bump there coming into that turn 2-3 complex. So a big hump, you cannot be turning through the corner when you're on there. You have to set up straight for it and kind of hit the kind of like a chicane there, kind of slaloming over the moguls there through those corners.
Well, Aaron Parsons languishing back in 14th. Quite a difference between his rival. They're only separated by 10 kilograms in weight, but White, as Parsons now moves up to 11th, but White is up in the top 5 here in qualifying.
Well, you know, they're separated by only 4/10 of a second. Well, that can come down to one corner. One tiny mistake at a corner or a little bit of lap traffic, and there you go. It doesn't take much to knock off 4/10 from a lap.
And Chris Moses here back in 15th, filling in for John Houston, who is unable to race tonight, but let's follow Chris here and through this first sector.
Now, I suspect Chris Moses has a bit more pace in it. I heard him saying something about running 1:08s there in race trim, so I suspect he may have a bit left in it.
I heard him mention something about him winning this race, but right now it's going to be a challenge. He was under a 10th off in Sector 1. Lost a bit of time there in the middle sector.
Yeah, we'll definitely move him up the grid, though.
Let's see how he completes his lap here. Should move up a couple
again,
spots. One.
Oh, wow. Yeah, again, he didn't quite get that last complex right. He didn't set up very well for the last corner there. Had to kind of back off the throttle midway through. Man, that's an important little section of corners.
Trussell back in 16th. Dan Wilkerson, Jonathan Cuppett's teammate, back in 17th. A little surprised to see Dan this far back. Kurt Chandler in 18th. Kurt carrying a little bit of ballast here tonight as well. John Wathen in the pit lane, currently 19th. Kevin Miller in 20th in the Porsche. On an out lap, Greg Myers 21st. Our Thursday night broadcaster, Ken Rodriguez, in 22nd. Let's follow Ken along here. Let's see where he is here in Sector 1. Wow, a bit off there, 1.3 seconds off in the first sector alone. Jack Ivey, his teammate, back in 23rd. Johnny Lugnuts running 24th. Brian Story, ooh, bit of a mistake there, running 25th. Ascarelli in 26th, and Alex Scott back in 27th, serving a no qual here tonight. So back out front, it's David Pohl continuing to lead. Wow, the gap now between Poole and Luden is 0.02 of a second. Unbelievable.
Yeah, David Poole really getting the job done.
Sector 2.
Yeah, well, it makes sense. David Poole just went through and improved his time by about 0.3 in the first sector, so he is definitely on a lap. John Luden may have trouble touching here.
This is certainly going to be in the 106s if he keeps it together here, which I think he has. It's going to be a dynamite lap. Bang. 106.8 for Poole. See if Luden can respond here. He's got a bit of traffic up ahead. Looks like that's Jolicoeur in... No, I think that was Uran in the Mercedes. So Luden behind a bit there. Rodrigo Triana now has jumped up to second. I had a feeling Triana would be would make some waves here. That Ford should be pretty good. Ooh, well, is carrying a little too much, riding a little too much curve there. Loops it.
Cuppet now moves up into that provisional second spot.
About that, Cuppet now up to second. So Cuppet getting his sea legs here in qualifying. Wouldn't this be an amazing qualifying for Cuppet if he could put this Viper on pole here?
Now, I tell you something else. He is quite a ways off there in the first sector. So if he gets that figured out, he's got a 106.5 in him.
Looks like he got balked a bit there on his lap, so this isn't going to do it. Jolicoeur in 5th. We are under 10 minutes now, just about 8 minutes to go here in qualifying. Quickly winding down here. Wow, Jolicoeur really aggressive on that. Ooh, and he loops it. Really aggressive on that turn 2 curving there. Alex White now has been demoted to 6th. 0.5 off there in sector 2. His teammate's right behind him, Matt Taylor.
Yeah, Alex White so far still not being challenged by main rival Aaron Parsons, who still languishes in 13th. So Aaron Parsons, not too much time left to climb up toward that Alex White starting position.
So White now remains in 5th. Actually jumped up a position to 5th. Jolicoeur now back to 6th. Matt Taylor is in 7th. Follow Taylor along here. And off there in sector 1. Cuppet in the pit lane. He's, wow, 106.864 to just 0.06 of a second off of David Poole's provisional pole time. I think Cuppet's got it in him.
Yeah, I do too, and again, it is David Poole's first sector, by far, in a way, best throughout the field, but 0.3 up over Jonathan Cuppet in that first sector. So if Cuppet can get through there and figure that one out, he will have a great shot at this pole.
So Matt Taylor, is he able to improve? No. Chris Moses now has moved up to 8th. About to start a lap. Jaime Moore back in 9th. Top 10 is Marty Wren. Part of Kung Fu Racing. Could have been for Kung Fu last week. Definitely left some points on the table there in terms of the team.
Yeah, we'll get to some. We'll get to some news and notes from that race for sure, but yeah, it wasn't disaster, but it was near disaster for that team. Very unfortunate last week.
So Marty looks like he has Jaime Moore up ahead. Doesn't look like it's going to be much of an issue for Marty. He might get a bit of a toe here off that Ford. He's not improved. Mike Monahan back in 11, quickly running down the field. Triana in 12th. Parsons back in 13th. Montgomery Jr. in 14th. Caldani back in 15th. Trussler 16th. Kevin Miller 17th. Wilkerson in 18th. Chandler back in 19th. We got Wath in 20th. 21st is Greg Myers. Ken Rodriguez in 22nd. His teammate Ivy back in 23rd, and Lugnuts is in 24th. Lugnuts a bit off the pace. I'm a little bit surprised to see Lugnuts this far back. Brian Story 25th. Mascarelli in 26th. Scott and Gup Douglas. He's starting from the back. David Poole off on his first sector time. We got under 5 minutes to go here in qualifying. Jonathan Cuppett on an out lap. Triana in 3rd. Keep an eye on him through sector 1. He's a bit behind too, nearly half a second. Back to Poole. Can he improve? Wow. He made up a lot of time there in the last 2 sectors, but not enough to improve. Cuppett's making his way around.
Yeah, interesting. So Jonathan Cuppett's missing the first sector. David Poole had missed the second and third sector. So maybe both these guys still have a little left in the tank.
John Luden. Luden looking quite quick in this Audi. He's half a second off in sector 1. Cuppett starting his lap. Looks like pretty clear track up ahead of him. 3 minutes to go. He'll have enough time to get at least 2 laps in. Luden off. See what Cuppett looks like here in sector 1. Ooh. 4/10 off in the first sector, Brad.
Yeah, that Viper is just not happy around that turn 1 complex. I don't think Jonathan is maximizing that turn 2, turn 3 kind of little right-left and navigating that big bump that's right in the way. I don't think Jonathan quite has that place figured out.
Picked up a little bit of time there in sector 2. See what he can do here in the final sector. Remember, he'll have enough time to get at least 1 to 2 more laps. I'm not sure how much fuel he put in that Viper. Ooh, a little bit of wheel spin on exit. Ooh, just off. He picked up some time, but still not enough.
Yeah, he sure did, and I didn't expect him to hold on to that time gain there after that last corner.
Now we got our eyes on David Poole now, who is... looks like he's taking it slow here. He's giving himself a bit of a gap before he starts his next lap. Triana, just over a 10th off in sector 2. This could get him. Oh, he gets out of it. Back to Cuppett.
Yeah, Cuppett 4/10 off through the first sector that time.
Yep, 2.5 tenths off in sector 2, so he was a little better this time around. He's got some traffic up ahead. One of the Corvettes. May get a tow off him. He does not. He's going to have enough time for 1 more lap at least.
Yeah, this is, well, it may not hurt his lap time. He did get around that Lugnuts Corvette relatively well. Really challenged the curbing there. Did a little bit of a different line.
Ooh, that ain't going to help. Poole has parked it. Very sloppy for Cuppett. Yeah, that's it. He ain't going to get another one in. Rihanna's.
Well, it was time to take all the chances you possibly could at that point, so well done nonetheless for Cup.
Alex White in 5th. He's on a flyer. Let's see about Jolicoeur here. Ooh, he's way off. He's got a malformed rear wing.
Way off, but has managed to pick up quite a bit of time from where he started the session at. So Ian Jolicoeur no better than 6 on the grid, but still not too shabby. He actually might have a chance for another lap.
White can do here. No improvement. 5 seconds left. Ooh, Luden got held up there in traffic. See about Jolicoeur. I don't know if these guys are going to have enough time to get it in. Jolicoeur 3.3 off. Luden takes it off. I think Jolicoeur's the last guy here.
Yeah, 3.3 tenths off is about where he's been running, so not looking to pick up any positions at the moment. Unless he really nails down some time back here.
Ooh, he does. Up to 3rd. Wow.
Wow.
What a lap from Jolicoeur at the end. Unbelievable. Well, that's going to do it, Brad.
Yeah, that was exciting stuff. A lot of fireworks kind of throughout the whole session. People going back and forth. What a great run for Jonathan Cuppet there in 2nd. Ian Jolicoeur that late run to 3rd. So good stuff there. Also honorable mention to Jesse Caldani there in 8th. A fine run for Jesse Caldani.
Yeah, he improved. He bumps Chris Moses back to 9th. So yeah, nice runs for these guys. So. In qualifying 2 here, just waiting for some guys to jump into the server, whoever missed qualifying. So we got a couple latecomers here. Mike Greatrix has joined the server. Scott.
I tell you, looking a little further down the list here, a couple names are popping out at me. One of them being Salem Montgomery Jr. So ran so strong last week through the first part of that race at Suzuka. They're in 14th. Aaron Parsons never managed to climb up the leaderboard here, so Aaron Parsons is going to start on this grid in 15th place, and that's going to be a relief for Alex White, having such a big grid advantage.
So 5/10 separating positions 1 through 13, so not a whole lot of time in the grand scheme of things, but wow.
Yeah, and it's going to be one heck of a race. Boy, we talk about it a lot about first couple laps being key and not making mistakes, but boy, no more so than this place here, because a single mistake puts you to the back instantly.
Yeah, this is our first ever running here at Sandown for GT2, and so far I'm liking what I'm seeing here. If the race is anything like qualifying, it should be a great run here tonight. Some new names.
Yeah, and
it's great to see.
Oh, it really is, and it's going to be good action throughout this event because it's not a terribly easy place to drive really consistently on. So you can be a little aggressive to gain that speed, but it is difficult. It is rather easy to make mistakes. So that running order could change rapidly.
So if you're just tuning in here for the first time, you could follow live timing for tonight's event. Just if you're watching NAGP TV via the NAGP website, you can just click on the GT2 live timing there at the top menu. Or if you're watching on Twitch, just click on the banner below the video output. You'll see a link to the live timing for tonight's event. But yeah, we're really looking forward to tonight's race, Brad. This point standings here in the Drivers' Championship really tight. 7 points separating Alex White and Aaron Parsons in second, 133 to 126. Marty Uren bit of a ways back here into third. It's 87 points. David Poole, 81 points. And Prato, who is not here tonight, with 74. Got to talk about Poole. I mean, he started off pretty strong and had some misfortune there. Finds himself out of contention yet again. I keep saying this is his season, but unfortunately, it doesn't look like that's going to be the case this season, barring a miracle. GT2 Team Championship. This is a tight one here. T-Brock Dan Bam, that's Houston, and Aaron Parsons. They're leading with 184. Chris Moses filling in for Houston's tonight, so looking to get some points out of him, squeeze something out of him this season, because I'm unable to squeeze anything out of him in a GT1, I'll tell you that. In Axis of Awesome, they are in second in the championship with 170 points. That's Matt Taylor and Alex White. This is going to be a big race for Taylor. He's going to have to really put some points, good point scoring finish here tonight if they want to make a run at this team championship. Kung Fu Racing in third. That's here Ian Jolicoeur and Marty Uren sitting there in third with 159 points. And 05 Motorsports with 111, that's Jesse Caldani and David Poole. And then fifth, Team Columbia Nuis, Andres Prato and Rodrigo Triana.
Yeah, you know, all with the exception of Team Columbia Nuis now with Andres Prieto missing yet another event, it's tough for them, but I tell you, it's anybody's championship among those top four teams. Now, 05 Motorsports have been making some noise here, just haven't been able to come home with the results. Last week at Suzuka was one of those opportunities. Now, they ended up only with 4 points from that race, which is looking so good for them, with both those drivers starting more or less in the top 10. So, but obviously in a great position here tonight, starting first and 8th. So, exciting team championship brewing here tonight.
Yeah, and it's going to be a good start for 05 with Caldani having a good qualifying session in the top 10, and Poole obviously starting from pole. So, things are looking up for them. David Poole DNF'd last week at Suzuka. Suspension failure, so tough night for him, but he's looking to bounce back. He's already bounced back here tonight with snatching up pole. Speaking of Suzuka last week, quite a race. Alex White winning, but early on it was Ian Jolicoeur looking strong, Montgomery Jr. battling second and third, but then the fireworks started with Montgomery sharing Jolicoeur's pit bay, and that knocked them both out of contention there, opening the door for Parsons and Uren to finish second and third.
Yeah, well, and it was one heck of a battle there after those stops. So we had the excitement of wondering what was going on with Salem Montgomery and Ian Jolicoeur, but here Aaron Parsons nips Alex White coming out of the pits, and they were all running very close times before that pit rotation. And Alex White had to put on one heck of a display of driving to get past Aaron Parsons in the final closing laps of that event. Should have Salem Montgomery Jr. and or Ian Jolicoeur survived, that would have been one hell of a finish out there. Nonetheless, it was a congrats to the win for Alex White and Aaron Parsons for second in that event. And again, the drive of the week for me last week was Marty Uren, keeping his nose very clean and just driving to a solid podium position.
Yeah, I got to make mention the Chow Mein Moto guys, Mike Monahan, Chris Moses finishing 5th and 6th. Mike Monahan driving a great race, and strong finish for that team last week. So we're about to close out, got about a minute and a half left here in the warm-up session. Then we'll be off to the races here for round 8 from Sandown. So I'm just going to take a quick break, Brad. I'll be right back.
Yep. Well, other than that, not too much more to go over for you. I think we've covered all our bases here. Again, this is our 8th iteration of the Season 23 GT2 Championship. That driver's points battle again continues to be dominated by Alex White and Aaron Parsons. That is some positions we're going to have to keep an eye on over the course of this event and where they are running in relation to each other. Now, it should be noted as well that both of them have a relatively tremendous amount of weight for those past wins and podiums on board tonight, and that can play havoc with the tires and the handling as these tire stints progress. Now, not entirely sure, it has to be said, about the type of tire and fuel wear these cars are going to get around here, but assuming the temperature is as it is now at 110 degrees Fahrenheit, we have to think that those tires would be suffering a little bit. So we'll have to see how those lap times may drop off over the course of that tire stint.
Yeah, it's a big mystery. I'm back, Brad, but yeah, you're right. It's a big unknown here tonight. It's first time running here, like as we mentioned. So a lot of these guys are going to be thrown into the fire here to figure out how their strategy is going to pan out.
I tell you, I'm watching these guys go through that turn 2 corner there with the bump in it, and I'm really curious to see if somebody's going to make a mistake and half the field is going to be taken out here on that second corner.
Well, I made mention of it in the drivers' meeting, so hopefully these guys pay attention and avoid any franks.
Yeah, the key is really going to be to try to get sorted before that corner comes. It's definitely don't want to be going side by side through there. So a bit of give and take, I think, is the order of the day on that one.
Well, conditions remain dry. 82 degree ambient, 98 degree track temperature. Let's run down our starting order here tonight. For Sandown, from pole is David Poole. Started second, Jonathan Cup at third, Ian Jolicoeur fourth, Rodrigo Triano, nice qualifying run, and fifth, John Luke.
Last week's winner, Alex White, takes sixth. Teammate Matt Taylor's in seventh. Jesse Caldani takes eighth. Chris Moses in a fill-in role for ninth. Felipe Triana in 10th.
Jaime Moore will start 11th, Mike Monahan in 12th, Marty Uren 13th, Montgomery Jr. 14th, and Parsons way back in 15th.
Mike Trussler puts in a time to 16th. Kevin Miller's in 17th. Dan Wilkerson takes 18th. Curtis Chandler in 19th. John Wathen in 20th. Good run for him last week.
Greg Myers 21st. Ken Rodriguez 22nd. Jack Ivey 23rd. Johnny Luckock starting 24th. And Brian Story 25th.
Lou Mascarelli takes 26th. Mike Greetrex is in 27th. Gup Douglas in 28th. And Alex Scott's going to round out the field in 29th.
I got to mention Brad real quick. Talking about Parsons way back in 15th, you got to wonder if that weight is better suited for White here, more of a power car, power track, as opposed to Parsons in that Viper, not so much suited for this track.
Yeah, you could be right. Yeah, that's a good point. I think that the Aston would have a bit of an advantage here, but also he does have the extra 10 kilograms on board as well. Frankly, I'm a little surprised to see Aaron Parsons back there, but we'll see what happens over the course of a race. After all, there's lots of laps to go.
You got 3 seconds to go here before we go green. Wow, long delay for the lights, but we're away, and David Poole gets off to a great start. Jonathan Cuppett also with a great start. Jolicoeur trying to take advantage, but unable to keep tabs with Cuppett as we head into turn 1 for the first time at this track. Cuppett hanging on to that second spot. Looks like most of the field getting through okay.
Yeah, not really.
Hanging to turn 6, 7, and 8 complex. I got some damage to the Vipers back there. Rodriguez back in 26 and his teammates. So Lugnuts with some damage, so something happened. Gonna have to keep an eye on Cuppet here. If he wants to have a run at this win here, he's gonna have to get up close to Poole. He's got the power on the straight.
You know, he only needs to stay relatively close there through turn 4. If he manages that, then he's going to get some big power coming down the back straight.
On board with Jolicoeur. I mean, this is unfamiliar territory for Cuppet. I mean, he's had some good runs in the past. I think Rouen, he had a good run. Finds himself challenging for the lead early on here in a GT2 race. So far he's handling the pressure quite well, Brad. Ooh, as Jolicoeur has a look on the inside of Cuppet. Is he gonna make that move stick? No, maybe. Oh, they're side by side. Wow, Cuppet. Jolicoeur overtaking Cuppet. Great move by Ian. See if Cuppet can answer here with the power of that Viper down the straight. Jolicoeur defending the inside. I'll be honest with you, Brad. Ooh, a little check up there for Cuppet. Yeah. Looks like
Ian got it way wrong on entry there. It's actually a nice job by not only Jonathan Cuppet, but Chris Moses to kind of take some evasive action.
John Luden is taking advantage now as Luden has moved up to third. Cuppet falling back quickly. White up to fifth.
Yeah, quickly staying on Cuppet. I like what I'm seeing here. Now, he's given up a couple spots early, but showing some great patience here. Didn't choose to fight Ian Jolicoeur too hard here. After all, it was only the first lap, so he'll get settled in, work into this race, and see if he can't move forward. I think he can, Al.
Yeah, it was... I was a bit surprised there, that overtaking move. He was a little, not very aggressive there. Kind of, you know, saw Ian there and was like, oh, you know, didn't really challenge him too much.
Well, he's still on track and the car's still in one piece, so live to fight another day.
So meanwhile, up front, David Poole slowly pulling away from the rest of the field. Jolicoeur. Luden starting to close the gap on Jolicoeur slightly. Cuppet holding off Alex White for the time being, looking further back. Rodrigo Triana, he's got a real view mirror full of Viper here, Chris Moses. Going to get a run on Triana here. Triana defending takes the racing line. Moses trying to get a clean exit here to get a run off Triana. Not sure if he's going to have enough legs here to get it done. That Ford is very quick down the straight. He's closing the gap slightly. He's going to have a look. No, not close enough. Like Caldani might have had a mistake. He's fallen back. Felipe Triana has moved up to 8th. Taylor to 9th. Jaime Moore in 10th. Monahan's running 11th. Behind him is Montgomery Jr. Keep an eye on Partisans here. He's up to 13th. Caldani has dropped back to 15th. Marty Uran in 14th. It's Caldani. Further back, we got Greg Myers. Mike Trusses got a little bit of damage to the front of his Corvette. John Watson back in 18th. Kevin Miller running in 19th. His teammate Story in 20th. Behind them is a whole train of cars. We got Ken Rodriguez, Alex Scott, Jack Ivey. All duking it out here. Ooh, Ken. Aggressive over those curbs. I think Scott might have some pace over Rodriguez. He might make the move now for that 21st spot. That's a done. And Wilkerson looking on the inside of Rodriguez. And Ivy, Cup Douglas driving for Connor Swain tonight back at 25th. Chandler 26th, Lou Mascarelli 27th, Greatrix in 28th, and Lugnut's 29th. Well, back out front here, it's David Poole continuing to lead this race with Jolicoeur and Luden right behind. Cuppet's still hanging on to this battle, as is Alex White.
Yeah, nothing much to report here toward the front at the moment, except that these guys are beginning to get settled in a little bit and trying to figure out how the car is going to work for them over the opening part of this race.
Yeah, it looks like Moses dropped back a little bit, might have made a mistake, lost some time to Triana. He was right on his tailpipe, but losing a bit of ground to Rodrigo. That's allowed Felipe, Matt Taylor, and Jaime Moore to close up a little bit on Moses. On board with Jaime Moore. Taylor unable to take advantage here. They're running close to Triana for the last few laps, but unable to pull him down the straight. See if he can get a run off him here on the main straight.
Yeah, it's just a tough track in general. You really have to get a good launch off some of the slow corners to be able to really get a good run or take some chances into one or two of these break zones.
The guys to pit in roughly around lap 25, 26.
Well, it's hard to choose a good battle because there's so many of them going on out there, but at the moment the battle for 12th is pretty good. Salem Montgomery Jr., Aaron Parsons, Marty Uren, even Jesse Caldani. All in there fighting hard for those spots. Aaron Parsons remains in 13th.
Yeah, not much, not many position changes so far. These guys running lockstep. A couple good passing opportunities here. We haven't seen too much so far.
Yeah, a couple good ones. It's not an easy place to pass on. I suspect that if I was one of these drivers, I would be thinking about hoping the guy in front of me made a mistake. Just try to keep the pressure up and look for an opportunity from a mistake.
Up towards the front, John Luton has started to close the gap a little bit on Jolicoeur here for that second position.
Yeah, Jolicoeur is certainly not making any inroads into David Poole. In fact, David Poole now stretching that lead just a little bit.
See if Luton can get a run on him here as we head onto the main straight. It's going to happen. This battle here back to mid-pack here. 8th, 9th, and 10th. Quite close. Mike Monahan back in 11th. Jaime Moore heavy on the brakes. Ooh, Taylor with a bit of a mistake, but recovers.
Yeah, that's a battle I've been watching also. So those
Marty with a moment, but hangs on to it. What a great save by Marty. Caldani was ready to pounce, but Marty, good job of hanging on to that. Marty may have a run here down this back straight. Runs a bit wide, he's going to lose a little bit of time.
Yeah, very easy to wash out coming off the exit of those couple corners there. There's a couple corners that are almost exactly the same there, those two left-hander. Easy to push through the apex.
Looks like Moses is starting to lose a little bit of time here to Triana. Triana's starting to close the gap a little bit. You have one of the BMWs already a lap down here.
Yeah, Chris Moses losing a little bit of time. So too is David Poole, actually. Just a little bit now, working some lap traffic already. But, boy, John Luden is not letting Ian Jolicoeur sail off into the distance either. So the battle for the podium still very much in doubt.
Further back, Mike Trussler in the last points paying position. Greg Myers right behind him in 17th. And then you got Kevin Miller, Alex Scott. This battle has spread out quite a bit. Brian Story back in 20th. Got Wilkerson running in 21st. Lofton's falling back to 22nd with Ken Rodriguez in 23rd. Mascarelli and Gup Douglas running 24th and 25th. These guys duking it out here. Mike Greatrix back in 26th. Lugnot's running in 27th. Chandler already a lap down. That's his Ivy. That was the man who was in front of Moses earlier. So we got Jolicoeur split between lap car Chandler and Luden. That's one thing we failed to mention here. Lap traffic is going to be a factor here tonight. It's short tracks. These guys get a lap down quickly.
Well, they may not be swapping positions a lot out on track at the moment, but I tell you, I'm loving this cat and mouse game that these guys are having to play, especially now that we are working some of that lap traffic too. This is going to be a real test of wills around here, I think, to be able to maintain this type of lap speed around a very tough track in tight, close quarters as well. These guys doing a great job out there for the moment. Ooh, it is now Chris Moses. Sorry, Al. Chris Moses now making a mistake and dropping precipitously back through the field.
Oh, he is. He's back at 15th now, so way back.
Yeah, and then a tough spot now for T. Brock Dambam in that team classification.
Well, just watching Cuppet there, he closed the gap briefly on Luden. Looked like he was going to have a run on him.
Yeah, things are really going to get tight now that we're getting into this traffic, and it looks like these guys are starting to figure out how to get around the track here. They've kind of settled in a little bit. They're starting to push for a little extra speed.
With White. You see David Poole there up in the distance, making his way through some lap traffic. Shouldn't be an issue though for these guys. We'll find out, however. Those guys do a pretty good job getting out of the way.
Yeah, sometimes there's only so much that you can do, though. I mean, you certainly have, if you're going to get a guy by, you want to do it in a safe spot. So, and you know, sometimes you're going to have to wait a corner or two before that can happen.
Jolicoeur coming up on Greatrix, and it looks like Mascarelli or Lugnot's, one of the two. Jolicoeur gets by.
Yeah.
Greatrix okay.
And as you watch that battle, there's one hell of a battle heating up over 8th. Now, they are stacked up from 8th all the way down to about 13th or somewhere. Might be all the way through the field, but Jaime, Felipe Triana, rather, leading the train.
13. Loren, Parsons, Montgomery Jr. Looks like Matt Taylor just took it wide. Matt Taylor, he's going to fall back to 13. Ooh, Felipe Triana with some contact. Looks like with Monahan. So Triana gets bumped back. Not sure if there was contact or he got cut out on the curbing. So that moves Parsons up to 9th. Montgomery Jr. to 8th. Meanwhile, Jaime Moore's loving this. Giving him time to gap these guys.
Yeah, it's breaking loose now. The time for patience is over. These guys say, I'm coming through.
Caldani has closed up on this battle as well. Look at that gap. It's 3 seconds. David Poole over Jolicoeur. Luton 4 seconds back, and Company White about 5 seconds back. So still relatively tight here. Working lap.
Yeah, that gap
16.
between that gap between David Poole and Ian Jolicoeur has stabilized despite working all that traffic. They have stayed about 3 seconds apart.
Well, Rodrigo Triana is starting to close the gap up on White. So Rodrigo starting to buckle down here. Some of these guys approaching lap traffic, and the closer they get together and fight, it's going to give Triana an opportunity to close up on them.
Yeah, all those guys about 1 second apart, and you know what? That's more or less, nothing. That's just the space of getting over a curbing just wrong. So to still be running this tight, all these guys running in these positions, working traffic is pretty marvelous.
One little mistake is certainly going to be costing. We saw what happened to Moses. One little mistake, it dropped him back about 8 spots. And Taylor, he made a mistake, he's falling back to 12th. Caldani has gotten around Felipe Triana for 13th. Moses now back in 15th. He's got Trussell behind him, still in the points. Greg Myers unable to close the gap on Trussler. Greg's certainly going to want that to get into the points. So let's see how this shakes out here. Pit strategy is going to definitely be a key here. Oh, as Watson has lost his front clip, taking it into the retaining wall.
Boy, you know what? You're absolutely right about those pit stops. Now, it's unfortunate we don't have a lot of information on what the tire wear is going to be like around here, but that could be very crucial around here. Shoot, you don't need to make up much time in the pit stops to jump several positions.
Jolicoeur currently with fast lap of the race with a 107.5, so his last lap was a 108.2. David Poole was a 108.2 as well. Boone in the 107s. Cuppett just ran into 107, so these guys still putting together some good lap times here, deep into this first stint. Looks like already in the pit lane for some service. You wonder what the setup is here. So some of the wing these guys are running here.
Yeah, that's a good question, Al. I think kind of car dependent, but I think that you would have a pretty wide range of options around here. You could certainly get the car to handle well through the corners if you do want to take some wing off.
Cuppett gets around that Corvette.
Yeah, Jonathan Cuppett now very close to John Luden there for that third spot. I'm not sure lap traffic played a role, but in any event, as close as Cuppett has been.
It certainly is. He may get a run on him here. I still don't think he's close enough. White hung up a little bit behind that Corvette, so he's dropping a little bit behind Cuppett here. Cuppett definitely not close enough yet.
I just cannot help but be impressed with these guys and the type of pace that they're able to maintain while working through this traffic, particularly David Poole out front. That's always the most difficult spot when you're leading and the first one to get through that traffic. And he is doing a masterful job with it.
I should mention Jaime Moore is carrying some penalty weight here tonight, substantial amount, 40 kilograms. He's still holding on to that 7th position and doing a really nice job. Considering the weight.
Very much. Yeah, very much so. So does Chris Moses and Jesse Caldani now have elected to jump into the pits. I have to assume that is for scheduled service.
Caldani is in, Moses is in.
So interesting. We'll have to keep our eyes out here for these early stops and see how it might benefit them as the rest of the field cycles through. That seems like a pretty early stop. Track temperature now has climbed up just a little bit now, 106 degrees on track.
Moses comes in right ahead of Parsons. Ooh, as Mike Monahan makes a pass on Parsons for 9th. So nice pass by Monahan. Finally, someone gets the job done at turn 1.
Right, that is a very tricky corner to pass, and despite coming off the straight, it's a difficult entry into that corner.
So you gotta wonder about that early pit stop. Ooh, as Montgomery nearly gets into the back of Jaime Moore. But that stop by Moses. Likes to come in early, maybe hoping to get some open track here once everyone else decides to pit in and really lay down some laps. But he's got Mike Monahan right on his tail.
Yeah, well, that's certainly the chance you take coming in early and having to deal with some of that traffic that is still out there on those possibly worn rubber when you've got the fresh. So you roll the dice, you take your chances, Al.
Oh, Moses goes off again.
Oh.
Watching this battle between Montgomery and Jaime Moore for 7th.
Yeah, and that's a good battle. Now, Salem Montgomery Jr. did not put in the type of qualifying effort I would have expected him to, but he has quietly made his way through the field here up to 8th, so a good early result here for Salem Montgomery.
To get around that Ford down the straight, coming up on some lap traffic. Let's take a look further up here. The gap between Cuppett and Luden has widened a little bit. Now Luden has closed up on Jolicoeur for 2nd.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that. the gaps open and close relatively quickly, so guys are making good runs and then just falling a little bit back. But Luden definitely does seem to have good pace at the moment.
Set that out. He's coming to life here late.
Yeah, and I would expect it to hold better pace actually through the course of a stint than the Mercedes as well.
Lap car up ahead.
The Audi very nervous over that turn 2 bump.
Oh, and Jolicoeur goes wide. Luden up to second.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that BMW kind of got in the way of that battle or if it was just a mistake by Ian, but in any event, it is Luden through to second.
So Luden primarily...
Take a look at...
Go ahead, sorry, Brad.
I was going to say, take a look at that timing and scoring quickly. It does look like Alex White has become dislodged a little bit than Cuppet. Now about 2.5 seconds in arrears to 4th place is Alex White.
Talk about Luden real quick. He's primarily a GT1 driver. Just started last couple weeks has been filling in GT2. So this is his first real foray these last few races in GT2 and quickly finding himself up to speed and challenging for a win here.
Yeah, looking very sharp as John Luden. Of course, we know he does have good pace. Frankly, there is a bit of a difference between the GT2 and GT1 class. You do have to stay a little more on the pipe, as they say in the GT2 class. Really try to throw the car around a bit more, maintain more corner momentum in these things. So a bit different in general, but Luden obviously getting it figured out very quickly.
Yeah, he's already, after getting by Jolicoeur, he's starting to gap Jolicoeur ever so slightly. He's starting to close in on David Poole a little bit.
I don't think there's any question that Ian Jolicoeur is starting to have some tire issues or some other type of handling has gone away just a little bit here, because Cuppet is also gaining on Ian just a little bit.
So these guys have remained out on track. Let's take a look at the lap counter real quick. Looks like Kevin Miller is in, working lap 26, so lap 26, we're about 30 minutes deep.
Yeah, looks like there is a rash of stops coming up, Al.
Ooh, big slide by Jolicoeur again. Gianna remains out on track. Jaime Moore continues in 7th. Parsons up to 8th. Looks like, not sure if Montgomery Jr. has come in or has made a mistake. You're in up to 9th. Taylor's in 10th. Triana in 11th. Trussell now has worked his way up to 12th. Myers in 13th. Yeah, Montgomery Jr. is falling back to 14th.
He is just exiting pit lane out.
Monahan in the pits. David Poole is in. Let's see if David Poole takes tires.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious. I don't think Salem Montgomery Jr. did. I don't think.
Yep, he's on the jack stands.
Interesting. Okay, so at least the Gumpert needs tires. Now, it is a little more harsh on its tires than some of these other cars, however, too.
Meanwhile, John Luden,
boy, one thing we
putting some laps down. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Al. I was just going to make a real quick note that actually the pit lane is pretty small here. Not a lot of bays available, so most of these drivers will be sharing their pit bay, and you know, if they can request a pit stop, doesn't mean they're going to get it right away.
Big mistake by Jolicoeur.
Yeah, John Luden that last time by a 107.9, which is about where he was running previously. 08's flats.
He's coming in. Jolicoeur's going to stay out. Not sure about that decision. Cuppet stays out. So does White.
It looks like if anybody... Yeah, it looks like if anybody needs tires, it might be Ian at this point.
See what Jaime Moore elects to do here. Is he going to come in? He does. Parsons stays out, as does Urin.
John Luden has taken tire.
Triana's staying out. So it's going to be interesting how these stops shape up here. Trying to see where David Poole is relative to the rest of the field.
Looks like David Poole has gotten back out in front of John Luden. Ooh, Gup Douglas has taken a DNF out.
Ouch. Jolicoeur is going to stay out again. So is Cuppet. And so is White.
Yeah, Salem Montgomery Jr. definitely did not take tires. Now, he cycled into those pit stops in 7th place, so we'll have to see when the rest of these guys cycle through. Actually, Salem Montgomery Jr. is running virtually 2nd at the moment to David Poole.
Yeah, John Luden losing a bunch of time in the pits.
Yeah.
He's got Jaime Moore. He's already, Moore has come in. He's pitted already. Giving him the business. Let's see what Jolicoeur elects to do here. Is he going to come in or what? No, he's not.
Nope. Yeah, they're going to... Yeah, there's going to be some guys that are going to take this very deep, particularly... Sorry, Al. Particularly if they plan on double stinting, you know, they're going to try to save some fuel. We know Gregory Myers will stay out there until the darn thing's empty. So we're going to have to wait a bit here before we really have a full grasp of what's going on.
Let's see what White does here if he goes up on the jacks. Oh, no, I don't think White took tires.
Yeah, interesting decision, I think, for Alex White. Now, this has kind of bitten him in the past, but he is going to come out in good shape here relative to where he was running.
He's going to come out ahead of David Poole.
Yeah.
Poole must be scratching his head right now. What the heck is going on here? How did he get out ahead of me?
Well, I think David Poole will have a pretty huge tire advantage, particularly with all the weight that is packed onto that Aston Martin. So, key here for Alex White is turn really super consistent laps, keep it very clean, try to maintain the best pace he can, yet be gentle.
Cuppet is finally in. Jolicoeur is going to stay out. So it looks like Jolicoeur is going to run this thing dry.
Well, Chris Moses came in lap 18, so you got to figure Ian could go at least 18 laps from the end.
Triana has yet to pit. As has Parsons. Parsons has stayed out. And Marty. So it looks like the Kung Fu boys are on the same strategy here.
Yeah, Parsons' pace has not really dropped off. Oh, wow.
So Cuppet definitely took tires. Like Moses has some front end damage, might have a puncture.
Boy, just never got sorted after that pit stop. We saw Chris Moses go off multiple times there after that stop, so just never got it sorted.
And meanwhile, Cuppet comes out right behind John Luden. So it looks like Cuppet and Luden might have had poor pit stops here. I would think Cuppet would have come out ahead of John. Meanwhile, back up front, Jolicoeur continues to run it dry. like Monahan.
Yeah, I'm just checking.
As Rodrigo has a moment. Go ahead, Brett.
I was just checking in on those Ian Jolicoeur lap times. Now, it's hard to say what kind of traffic he's been working. Doesn't look like too much is around him, but his lap times have dropped off pretty substantially here from what he has been able to run in previous lap.
Yeah, he was way off there in sector 2.
So still quite a few guys, certainly the top 5 on track at the moment have yet to pit. So Jolicoeur, Triana, Parsons, Uren, and Felipe Triana all yet to serve that stop.
Yeah, it's going to be frustrating for some of these guys like Monahan here. He's behind Triana. Oh, as Triana pits. I was going to say Monahan has got fresh tires. He's probably quicker. But let's see what Parsons does. Parsons is going to stay out, as is Marty. Marty's all over the back of Parsons. We're going to take a look into turn 1. Nearly gets into the back over there. Marty can do here. Can he get a run on Parsons? He might. Thought better of it. Third on track. These guys are staying up. Shocked.
Yeah, I'm kind of trying to get a grasp of this. So Alex White did double stint his tires, and you know what? I think it's going to end up being a very good decision, kind of the way things have shaken out. So you have Salem Montgomery Jr. back there, who also double stinted tires. Now he is holding up John Luden, who is one of the guys who could claw his way back to Alex White, but he is losing ground. Likewise is Jonathan Cuppett as well. So Alex White is going to gain some advantage here as guys are stuck behind, with fresh tires, are stuck behind other guys who have double stinted. Felipe Triana is in.
So Alex White has certainly lost some ground to David Poole here. Poole starting to close up on White.
Yeah, David Poole is crushing him, but he will have some time over the other guys that could catch Alex White.
Triana has pitted.
Oh!
Just some contact there, not sure what happened.
Yeah, David Poole coming to a bit of contact with Lou Mascarelli, so Lou Mascarelli, I think, not sure if he was given the indication to let David by, or that's just what David thought. Not sure, but in any event, Lou, and is continuing to block.
He gets out
quickly throwing it off track.
Alright, so now Poole can get down to business of trying to catch Alex White here, but that contact's not going to help his aero package. Certainly not. Meanwhile, out front, Jolicoeur continues to pound out laps here without pitting.
Yeah, his times have certainly suffered as a result as well, so I'm not sure what he plans on doing.
My guess is he's going to double stint here at this point.
Yeah, I would think so.
You may see
again for him,
and Uren do the same thing.
Yeah, I was going to say, again for him, it could work out well because his main rivals, Cuppett and Luden, have been held up a bit by Salem Montgomery Jr. on much more worn tire. But difficult place to pass, so those guys have had trouble getting by.
Cuppett has gotten past John Luden for 8th. Cuppett's got his sights set on Montgomery Jr., who's running on worn tires.
Yeah, maybe Jonathan could have more success with Salem Montgomery Jr. than John Luden did, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, Taylor's in 10th. Scott's up to 11th. So I believe Alex Scott may have pitted early, but perhaps he hasn't pitted yet. Let's put it that. Not quite sure.
He may not have. Alex Scott has not come in yet, Al.
Triana's ahead of Mike Monahan after stops. Jaime Moore back in 14th. Dressler's running in 15th. Greg Myers in the points in 16th currently. Dan Wilkerson now in 17th. Kevin Miller running in 18th. Jack Ivey in the pits. Caldani in 20th. Not sure what happened to Jesse there, but he's fallen quite a ways back. Story's in 21st. Rodriguez running in 22nd. Chris Moses languishing back at 23rd. Not sure what happened to him, but tough night. Mascarelli's running 24th, and you've got Great Tricks, and Gup Douglas is in the pits.
So I just looked up at timing and scoring, and it just kind of hit me just now, Al, that Ian Jolicoeur and teammate Marty Urin of Simon Montgomery Jr. has a spin coming off the last corner. He is going to lose his front clip. Quickly dives into the pit lane, but in any event, big mistake for Salem.
Was that self-induced?
I think it was, Al. Yeah, I was looking elsewhere, but had him on the screen. I don't think there's anybody else around him, Al.
So Cuppet now has closed up on Aaron Parsons. Parsons, we take it, has pitted.
Aaron Parsons, I think, has just come in.
Yeah, because Marty and Jolicoeur running 1 and 2. Poole
that was a bad
past Alex White for third, but should be for the lead of the race once pits cycle through here, but who knows?
Yeah, so it's going to be suddenly it's going to be Rodrigo Triana.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that. We just highlighted him here now.
Holy smokes, where'd he come from? Oh, he double stinted as well. Yeah.
So we'll have to wait and see if Triana can chew into Alex White's lead. Cuppet with a gaggle of cars. Ooh, Parsons. Luden. There was some contact there. Cuppet looks like got through cleanly. But it looks like, I believe that's Montgomery Jr. and possibly Mascarelli.
Ian Jolicoeur into the pits, Al. And also quickly down and away. So Ian Jolicoeur will jump David Poole by quite a bit here. He's going to have a full 10 seconds on David Poole. So the Chow Mein Moto squad putting in a great strategy option here, I think.
Kung Fu.
Oh, yeah, Kung Fu, whatever.
So this puts Marty out front now. Marty, expect him to pit possibly this lap.
Didn't I say Kung Fu? What the hell did I say?
Chow Mein.
Oh, oops. Sorry, guys.
What a stop by Ian.
Yeah, his times are not good on track, but obviously he did manage to save a ton of fuel by running those extra laps. So it was a short fill for Ian, and we'll see what teammate Marty manages to come up with here.
Gonna stay out. David Poole quite a ways back here in third. Alex White running in fourth, and Triana not too far behind him in fifth. We got Cuppet now has cleared Luden and Parsons, so you know Cuppet's got some work cut out for him, but there's still time here for him to close the gap.
Yeah, Cuppet is on the fresh tires along with David Poole, so those are the only two guys here in the top 6 with the fresh rubber on.
Cuppet may have just run the fast lap of the race.
So 0.77 that last lap. I think David Poole did manage an 0.74 earlier. Yeah. Still, nonetheless, a very good lap.
So Marty brings it in. Let's see what Marty does here. His teammate's going to get by if he doesn't take it off.
He may slot back out in 7th or 8th. He may be involved in that Luden-Eza affair. Maybe.
White's going to get by. He's away. Triana's going to make a move here. He's going to get by Uren. Uren is away. Cup it. He's going to have the legs. He's got him. Cup it up to 5th. Just ahead of Uren.
Yeah, and he did clear that John Luden-Aaron Parsons battle there by quite a bit, so interesting stuff. Luden also on the fresh rubber.
Yep. So Luden should be able to make quick work of Uren. Parsons has double stinted. He's fallen back away a bit from Luden. Matt Taylor's running in 9th, Scott in 10th. So we're assuming Scott still has to pit.
Yep.
Got about 10 minutes to go in this race. Go ahead, Brad. Sorry.
Very interesting strategy options here. It looks like he could go either way on this thing, double stinting or not double stinting. I guess it's very intriguing.
So taking a look at the gap between, it's dropped down to just under 10 seconds between Jolicoeur and David Poole. But that's quite a bit of time to make up at this track, Brad. I mean, there's a lot of lap traffic, and it might be just a perfect scenario here for Jolicoeur.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that's really hurting David Poole at the moment. He is not able to slip back into those mid-07s like he was in the opening salvo of the race here. So he will make up time, and I think he may yet have the opportunity to take a look toward the end of the event. Wow. But it's going to take a nice drive on his part, sir.
Meanwhile, Alex White continues to run here in 3rd. He's starting to drop some time to Rodrigo Triana, who's just gotten back past a lap car. But Triana's putting in some good laps here. I think his tires are holding up quite a bit better than White's tires here in the second stint. Both these guys have double stinted, and there in the distance is Jonathan Cuppett.
Yeah. Got confused for a second. Yeah, Alex White's times, actually. I was looking at that a couple laps ago. His times are not that great.
John Luden now all over the back of Marty. So Luden's going to be looking to make a move here soon on Marty. Be a tough task for Marty to keep Luden behind. Luden might have a run here into turn 1. Oh, Marty takes it off, makes it easy for Luden.
That always makes a guy happy. Get a chance to wipe the brow and get back on with the business here.
So you see that gap on screen between White and Triana. It's about under 2 seconds, I would imagine. Quickly closing up on White.
Yeah, and David Poole finally starting to make some inroads here on Ian Jolicoeur. That gap has suddenly come down to about 6 seconds.
Yeah, this track is, these guys aren't having as easy a time to pass as you might expect, but you know, Poole may, as Moses takes it wide, but Poole may close up on Jolicoeur, but getting past him, that's going to be a different story altogether.
Yeah, well, there's an 0.73, fast lap of the race there for David Poole, so he finally found a bit of a rhythm again after stops here, and with some clean track, he's definitely going to have a chance.
John Loon running in 6th. Let's run down the order real quick here. Marty Uren running in 7th. Parsons in 8th. We got Matt Taylor running a pretty quiet race at 9th. Mike Monahan in the top 10. It's going to be a finish like this again. Where he is now, it's going to be another top 10 finish for Mike. 2 races in a row. Triana in 11th. Dressler now in 12th. Looks like Scott has pitted. Jaime Moore running in 13th. Not sure what happened to Jaime. May have double stinted. But he was running 7th for a while. Now finds himself back in 13th. Alex Scott now rejoins in 14th with Greg Myers in the points now in 15th. And Dan Wilkerson as well finds his way into the points running 16th. Montgomery Jr. after his moment dropped back to 17th with Caldani in 18th. Ken Rodriguez running in 19th. Behind him is Brian Story, followed by Jack Ivey. Greatrix running in 22nd. Mascarelli running 23rd. We got Chris Moses back in 24th. And that's it. Kevin Miller has parked it. There you have it.
Yeah, so it was Rodrigo Triana with a mistake, pushing a little over the limit in his quest to hunt down Alex White, who remains in 3rd. But Jonathan Cuppett there in 5th has picked up a lot of time on Rodrigo Triana and is beginning to have aspirations of a 4th place himself.
John Watson, do you copy?
I've got you.
Alan Pratt here in the broadcast booth. I know you're in communications with Jolicoeur. What are his... what's his thought process right now? How's his, has he made mention of how his car is handling here with the double stint?
He's talking up a storm. It looks good. He's a little bit worried about Poole. Poole's really quick here, but I think Ian can hold him off. You know, catching him and passing him's a different story, and they're buddies. So I think Poole's going to be. If he catches Ian, he's going to race him really clean. So I think Ian's got a good shot here.
What was the tire wear like for you out there? I know this is first time running here for everybody. So what were the track conditions like? Were you dealing with some tire wear, or was it okay?
No, I would have double stinted. Although yeah, I got to the end of my stint, well, close to the end of the first stint, and ended up brushing the wall and took my motor out. For some reason, I'd screwed up my radiator opening, I think. So, but no, the tire wear was not bad at all. Engine wear was worse.
I have a quick update here for you. I'll break it real quickly. Jonathan Cuppett has gotten by Rodrigo Triana after Rodrigo made a small mistake coming off the last corner, so it is Jonathan Cuppett through to 4th.
Well, John, thanks for that update. Much appreciated. Good luck next week.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
See you, John. Bad luck.
So it looks like these tire conditions early on weren't too bad for these guys, which gave opened that window for these guys to double stint. So
it sure did. It's not going to work out better for anybody but then Alex White making a great decision there on his double stint. It worked out very well in the end here. I think Alex White is going to manage to hold on for this podium.
You see David Poole, that gap is now closing up. Let's take a look at the splits. Now down to 4 seconds. It was 9, nearly 10. We got about 5 laps left to run here. 4 laps, sorry. This would be quite the coup if Jolicoeur could pull this one off.
Yeah, it sure would. I think he's going to be able to do it. So making up a second a lap is pretty tough while still having to pass a guy. Now there's another battle shaping up here as John Luden on his fresh rubber tries to take down Rodrigo Triana for 5th.
There's a boatload of traffic up ahead of Jolicoeur. Yeah, Luden really closing the gap up on Triana.
Regardless of anything else, though, it has been one heck of a run for Rodrigo Triana. We haven't seen him up here in the top 5 for a while, so it's good to see him back on the pace.
Well, with Luden is going to have a run on him here. Looking on the inside. Ooh, a little contact there, but Luden gets by. It's like, ooh, that was a close one, but not sure about that one, Brad. It looks like Triana could have possibly given him a little bit more room there, but I'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one either. I'm not going to call it too soon,
yeah.
But maybe something I did call too soon was the hunt here over the 3rd place. I just postulated Alex White would be able to hang on, but Jonathan Cuppet is coming pretty quickly.
Oh, he's coming strong, looking for that podium position.
And it's now 2 seconds to Ian Jolicoeur from David Poole.
Jolicoeur getting past some lap traffic.
Oh crap, Mike Monahan and Matt Taylor going at it too. Sorry, Al.
Yep, a lot of close battles shaping up here at the end. Quickly back up
what a
front.
feather.
Go ahead, Brad, sorry.
What a feather in the cap if Jonathan Cuppet can make this late pass on Alex White of all people for the podium out. Just a couple laps to go.
Yeah, we're going to keep our eye on this battle. John Luden lurking not too far back, but I don't think there's going to be enough time for him to get involved in this battle. Ooh, Cuppet. Forward Cuppet. Got a run on him here. He may have an opportunity at the turn 1. Don't think he's close enough. Well, I take that back. Oh, he may have him. Cuppet gets the job done.
Wow. Almost, maybe.
Oh, he's got it. What a pass by Cuppet.
You know, that was a great pass. I think Alex White decided to go ahead and back off after that, but the initial pass was just fantastic. On the outside, showing great give and take there. Wow.
Meanwhile, back up front, you see the gap between 1st and 2nd, Jolicoeur and David Poole. On board with Poole. Ooh, that's going to do it. Jolicoeur takes the win. Poole the 2nd. What a win by Jolicoeur. Cuppet on the last lap gets by White for that 3rd spot. Luden there closed up. Right at the end, White 4th, Luden 5th. What a race here at the end. Marty Uren's going to come home in 6th. Triana's going to take 7th. Parsons brings it home in 8th. Mike Monahan going to finish here in 9th. Matt Taylor to 10th. Felipe Triana should come home here in 11th, the last car on the lead lap. Limping it home. Wow, what an end to this race here, Brad. And we got Ian Jolicoeur in the booth here. Ian, do you copy?
Hey guys.
Well, congratulations, Ian. After a huge disappointment last week, you bounced back to take the win here at Sandown. Congratulations. Big move there, double stinting, where you we talked to Watt and he was saying you were a little concerned about Poole closing the gap. How concerned were you?
Yeah, for sure. He had great pace tonight, and you know, around 30 on the right rear on the final lap there was a little bit dicey, but she worked out.
Yeah, in the end, had just enough time there to take that double stint and finish off the win. So was that the strategy adjustment on the fly, or is that something going in you're thinking about the possibility of double stinting those tires?
Well, I have an injury here, and Gup was going to fill in for me tonight, and he recommended the double stint, so I'll definitely give him the credit for that. So thanks, Gup. But that definitely that was planned before the race started tonight.
Well, that plan certainly paid off. Both you and your teammate elected a double stint. A few other guys did also, but you certainly made it work out for you, Ian. So big congratulations to you tonight, and looking forward to seeing you next week, buddy.
Thanks very much, guys. Thanks for running this great league. Appreciate it.
Much appreciated. Jonathan Cuppet, you copy?
I hear you loud and clear, Al.
Jonathan, congratulations on your podium finish here tonight. You had a great qualifying and a dramatic last lap pass on Alex White to take that final podium position. Unbelievable run. You really did a great job. Congratulations.
Hey, I appreciate it, Al. Hey, I was worried when I come out of the pits. I think I came out in like 10th or so. I was like, man, I done messed up, but fought my way through, and really happy with a third.
Yeah, it was a great result for you, Jonathan. Boy, the question I was going to ask completely fell out of my head, but it had to be a great feeling nipping Alex White there. It turned out to be just on the last lap. We thought it was going to go one lap further. Now walk us through that pass a little bit, if you would.
Well, I knew Alex had double stinted, so his tires were pretty wore out by the end. Plus, he had all that weight, and got a run on him going down the main straight. He gave me the outside. I drove it in there pretty hard. Made a little bit of contact turn one, but he gave up the spot, and I motored on.
It was a great pass. It was great to see. We knew weren't sure if you were close enough there, but that Viper, man, that thing's a beast on the straight, and you got it done. So congratulations, Jonathan. Good job tonight.
Hey, thank you guys, and thanks again for all you guys do in the broadcast booth.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Well, there you have it, Brad. Another great run here tonight. Sandown. Jolicoeur with a huge win. Double stint in tires, so didn't know how that was going to pan out there at the end. You know, when he kept staying out there, I'm like, yeah, we always see it not work out for a lot of guys, but he really made it happen.
You know, I think the double stinters in general had the advantage here tonight. It was kind of touch and go there, but in general, they scored the best results of generally anyone else out there. Alex White, of course, did slip back to 4th, but did improve his position at the end of that event. So a couple of positions picked up for him, and you got to give the nod to Kung Fu Racing. So both Ian Jolicoeur, of course, with the win, and Marty Urin with that strong finish. They're going to pick up some pretty massive points here, and the quote-unquote secondary drivers, both for T-Bach Dam Bam and Axis of Awesome, both did slip off a little bit. So a big points game for Kung Fu Racing going into next week.
Well, this GT2 season's quickly winding down here. We'll be back next week for round 9 at Road Atlanta. So that should be another great event. So hopefully you guys can tune in for that next week at 9, next Monday at 9. And until then, we'll be at A1 Ring Thursday night in GT1 with Jack Ivey and Ken Rodriguez broadcasting. So hopefully you can tune in to that as well. So until next week, Brad, thanks again, and thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.